Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share how I feel good in my 50s, internally, externally, how I keep a healthy routine, what I eat, what I drink during the day, how I exercise. So just a little overview. It's not going to be a very, very detailed video. Maybe I'll do more details in another video. So growing up, I was a dancer. I studied ballet, then I studied jazz, then modern. And all my life, I've been weighing myself, doing diets, insane diets, especially in my teenage years. And I always struggled with that self-image that was ingrained in me. So as a dancer, you have to be slim, you got to watch your weight, you got to watch what you eat. So I always thought that I was not the perfect weight. So my weight also was always fluctuating. I'll do all these crazy diets. I'll lose weight. Then I'll start eating because my body was just starving for food. And I'll gain weight. And it was this perpetual cycle of constantly losing and gaining weight. Maybe like 3 years ago, I worked with a therapist. I had some childhood traumas that I didn't address, and I worked with a therapist, and I came in terms with my past. I worked through that trauma. I healed myself. I moved on. I let go. And I don't know, I do believe it's very, very connected, but I started losing weight. And also, I've been doing some other things I'll share in a moment, but I was able to keep it. So for 3-4 years almost, I weigh exactly the same. So, and again, for me, it's healthy body and healthy life. It's about healthy mind. So if my mind, it's at peace, it's calm, it's full of love, that reflects how I see myself, how I feel about myself, and therefore how I eat and how I approach eating, exercising, and just life day-to-day basis. So for me, what I discovered, diets do not work. I mean, a lot of us discover that diets do not work. It's just a perpetual cycle that always fails. And I was tired to diet and to feel bad about my body and the weight and not really knowing what kind of weight I wanted or what shape I wanted. I was just like, wanted to be skinny, but I had no idea what that even means. And I know for myself, if I lose a lot of weight, I lose energy. I can't really function. I decided for myself after I saw the therapist, and I decided for myself, you know what? I'm done dieting. Even if I gain weight, no matter what happens, I'm just done dieting. I will eat from absolutely everything that I feel like a little bit. And I just have certain parameters that I'll share. But that was my decision. I was just tired, sick and tired of dieting and feeling hungry. And I felt like I'm missing a lot in life because I'll go out with my friends, we'll go to restaurants or coffee shop, or with my son, we'll travel and we go to different countries and try foods, and then I'll feel guilty about it or not eat for the next day so I can balance it out. And it was just like I was driving myself miserable, and I didn't want to do that. I knew it's unhealthy. So I started to eat everything a little bit. I did weigh myself every single day. And I don't know if this is right or wrong. I just feel like if I weigh myself every single day, it's easier to course correct and to scale back down on some foods. Because especially when I travel or I'm on vacation, I just don't diet. I mean, in general, I don't diet. And now I'm in a new relationship. We go out all the time. We go to new restaurants, and I can't diet. I don't want to diet. I want to try the food. I want to have experiences and fun. And again, I'm 50, so I'm menopausal. A lot of things would change. So I want to be mindful. But here are the few things that I do. First, I stopped drinking coffee 14 years ago because I had terrible anxieties. And one night I had panic attack, and I just knew that coffee was contributing a lot to that. I was having 3, 4 espressos a day. I mean, I'm from Bulgaria. It's a coffee culture. So you constantly have coffee. I do drink Earl Grey though in the morning. The other thing that I do is I exercise every single day, but I do not exercise the same things. Like I have to have some kind of a movement every single day. I think that's more realistic to put it. So I do yoga a lot. I love yoga. That saved me from my anxieties and panic attacks. So I'm a big believer in yoga. I'm halfway through my 200 hours. I don't do it every day. I wish I did it. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. I don't beat myself up. I do meditate. That I found like really helpful, yoga and meditation, to relax me. And afterwards, I always notice that I'm not even hungry. Even if before that I was craving something, when I do yoga or meditation, it just my nervous system, it's so relaxed. I just don't crave anything. And I guess that is what you call emotional eating. But when you relax, you don't have that. So that's very helpful for me. I do tennis, not every day, but I'll rotate. So yoga one day, the next day I'll do tennis. Also, I go for a run. I'm not a runner. I don't run a lot, but I rotate. I run a little bit, let's say 10 blocks, and then I walk for another 10, and then run again 10 blocks and walk again. I don't like running when it's summer because it's very hot. So every other season I would run, but not summer. And of course, I lift weights for my arms, but that's it. That's about it. Other people do it more, and maybe we have to do it more, especially resistance and weights after 50. I'm not going to beat myself up, but maybe down the road, I will go and sign up for the gym and start lifting weights. So the next thing that I do, and I'm a firm believer, is the relationship with yourself. So your inner world. If my inner world it's in peace, I notice that I just view myself differently. And meaning, not that I view myself as this best person with no flaws. No, I'm sure some of you are heard about this terminology, the shadows. So embracing your shadows, embracing your disowned parts of yourself, the parts that were shamed or criticized when we were younger, from well-meaning parents, teachers, adults, or other children. And so we suppress these parts in ourselves. And I think, in my opinion, I'm not a psychologist. I'm amateur psychologist. I just love psychology, but I'm not a psychologist. So I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I think self-esteem, self-image, it's embracing all these parts of you. So it's like integrating the good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, first of all, we are not to name good or bad because they're not good or bad. They are just parts of our character. They're parts of us. And therefore, embracing them. So yes, sometimes I'm envious. Sometimes I'm jealous. Sometimes, I don't know, all these things that we do negative. We're all of these things, but a lot of us just don't share that because we think it's shameful or it makes us a bad person. We're not bad people. We just, all of us have these things in us. Therefore, embracing that, accepting that brings, at least for me, it brought this peace in myself to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm envious sometimes. Big deal. I help people all the time. I volunteer. I do a lot of things that, for my friends, I help, for my family. So I'm not selfish person, but I do have selfish tendencies sometimes, yes. And I think sometimes it's a good thing because especially when it comes to self-care, that's not even selfish. So we label these things as selfish or not good and good. And I think from that comes a lot of our struggles. And once embracing that, it brings this peace, at least for me, it brought this peace, inner acceptance in the way I viewed myself. And the more I viewed myself in this healthy way, accepting all the parts of me, somehow I relaxed and I don't have that destructive, I guess, tendency. So I guess, yes, maybe I did have this emotional eating, but I do find it correlating. Maybe I'm wrong, which brings me to the other point. I eat twice a day and I do intermediate fasting. So for years, I do 16 hours in between the last and the first meal. However, for years, I was eating very early morning and then finishing early at night. But I found that it just didn't work for me. For me, it works better if I eat later breakfast and later dinner. I have a friend who was working in a research lab in Colombia, and they worked on the correlation between sleep and food. And from her, I know that we have to eat when it's light and stop eating when it's dark. I don't do that all the time, especially when I'm on vacation or when I go out on a date or with friends. Of course, this is exception, but I try to do that at home. So usually for me, I eat breakfast around 11, and then my last meal, I try to be 7. I don't even know if that's 16 hours. But of course, when I go out on vacation, I do it at 9 p.m. And then I wake up late next day and I eat a little bit earlier. So you got to find what works for you. But 16 hours and eating twice, I really feel good. However, if I feel hungry, because not every day is the same. We're humans, we change, and if I work a lot that day and I'm out on location filming, I need to eat. So what I eat usually in the morning, I'm a creature of habit. So I have this oatmeal mix thing with a lot of seeds, cayenne pepper, cinnamon, cacao, and steel cut oats. I do that for the whole week. And that's breakfast. But usually after 30 minutes, I'm very hungry. So normally what I do is I have a small bowl of this, and then I have like piece of bread with cheese, like a cheese sandwich and avocado on top. And that fills me up for the whole day. And so at night, I don't diet, so I don't know. Wherever I go, I'll just order something. Sometimes I order burger and a fries. I don't finish the whole thing, of course. Or I love bread. So if I go to Middle Eastern restaurant, I'll have bread with a lot of olive oil or stew. That's my favorite. However, I don't really normally finish my portions because in the restaurants in America, the portions are huge. But I do take it home. So I take it and I eat it next day, or my son eats it. So these are the only things that I do. And I think we are what we eat. So that always reflects on our skin, on the way we look and present ourselves, on our confidence. So in my opinion, the best thing we can do is work on our inner world, and that will reflect our outside world because we'll start attracting better things that reflect this inner world, because everything is an energy. It's not about the weight. It's not about the diet. It's about calming your inner world, working on your inner world, being content with who you are. And then that will take care of everything else. One thing that I found out, it's not beating yourself up, because I guilt myself for years when I had a piece of fries. If you have the piece of fries, have the damn piece of fries. And then don't feel guilty about it. This is very hard. It's a process. I'm telling you, but it took me very long time to take my own advice. But have a little compassion for yourself. And when you slack one day or you have a little more and the scale shows a pound over or 2 pounds over, don't beat yourself up. Just scale the next day or do a little more exercise. That's why I like to weigh myself every single day or every other day, just because I can scale myself. Because by the time I gain like 4 pounds, let's say, or 3, then, oh my gosh, I got a diet. Oh my gosh, what did I do? I started guilting myself. So I'm not there yet. I wish I'm there yet psychologically, but I'm not. So with 1 or 2 pounds, I feel good. I can say, oh, you know what? I got this. Tomorrow, a little more exercise, a little bit early dinner, and that's it. And maybe no cake. But I like desserts, so I do eat desserts. I don't finish them. I usually share them with whoever I go out, maybe, or just take them home for the next day or the next 3 days, depending on the size. So please be compassionate to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. And remember, you're beautiful just the way you are. And we're beautiful humans. We're doing the best we can. And take care of your inner world, in your mind. So I will see you in my next video. Bye.